Hello friends, you're welcome to the key point. If this is your first time you're joining us in our channel, please kindly hit on the red subscribe button below the video, and please don't forget to hit on the bell button beside the subscribe so you won't miss any of our videos. Thank you. Hello friends, you're welcome to the key point. Happy New Year. President Muhammadu Buhari on New Year Day wrote a letter to Nigerians highlighting the key tasks his government will undertake in 2020 and the new decade. The president touched on infrastructure, electricity, security, elections, and other areas of national interest. He vowed that he will not seek re-election in 2023. I will be standing down in 2023 and will not be available in any future elections, the president said. Below is the letter he wrote to Nigerians. Today marks a new decade. It is a time of hope, optimism, and fresh possibilities. We look forward as a nation to the 2020s as the opportunity to build on the foundations we have laid together on security, diversification of our economy, and taking on the cause of corruption. These are the pledges on which I have been twice elected president and remain the framework for a stable, sustainable, and more prosperous future. Elections are the cornerstone of our democracy. I salute the commitment of the millions who voted in peace last February and of those leaders who contested for office, but fairly submitting to the authority of the electorate, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and judicial process. I understand very well the frustrations our system has in the past triggered. I'll be standing down in 2023 and will not be available in any future elections, but I am determined to help strengthen the electoral process, both in Nigeria and across the region, where several ECOWAS members go to the polls this year. As Commander-in-Chief, my primary concern is the security of the nation and the safety of our citizens. When I assumed office in May 2015, my first task was to rally our neighbors so that we could confront Boko Haram on a coordinated regional basis. Chaos is not a neighbor any of us hope for. We have been fighting on several fronts: violent extremists, cultists, organized criminal networks. It has not been easy, but as we are winning the war, we also look to the challenge of winning the peace, the reconstruction of lives, communities, and markets. The Northeast Development Commission will work with local and international stakeholders to help create a new beginning for the Northeast. The federal government will continue to work with state governors, neighboring states, and our international partners to tackle the root causes of violent extremism and the network that help finance organized terror. Our security forces will receive the best training and modern weapons, and in turn will be held to the highest standard of professionalism and respect for human rights. We will use all the human and emerging technological resources available to tackle kidnapping, banditry, and armed robbery. The new Ministry of Police Affairs increased recruitment of officers, and the security reforms being introduced will build on what we are already delivering. We will work tirelessly at home and with our allies in support of our policies to protect the security of life and property. Our actions at all times will be governed by the rule of law. At the same time, we shall look always to engage with all well-meaning leaders and citizens of goodwill to promote dialogue, partnership, and understanding. We need a democratic government that can guarantee peace and security to realize the full potential of our indigenous, entrepreneurial, and hard-working people. Our policies are designed to promote genuine, balanced growth that delivers jobs and reward industries, Our new Economic Advisory Council brings together respected and independent thinkers to advise me on a strategy that champions inclusive and balanced growth, and above all fight poverty and safeguard national economic interests. As we have sat down to celebrate with friends and family over this holiday season, for the first time in a generation, our food plates have not all been filled with import of product we know can easily be produced here at home. The revolution in agriculture is already a reality in all corners of the country. New agreements with Morocco, Russia, and others will help us assess on attractive terms the input we need to accelerate the transformation in farming that is taking place. A good example of commitment to this inclusive growth is the signing of the African Continental Free Trade Area and the creation of the National Action Committee to oversee its implementation and ensure the necessary safeguards are in place to allow us to fully capitalize on regional and continental markets. The Joint Land Border Security exercise currently taking place is meant to safeguard Nigeria's economy and security. No one can doubt that we have been good neighbors and good citizens. We have been the helpers and shock absorbers of the sub-region, but we cannot allow our well-planned economic regeneration plans to be sabotaged. As soon as we are satisfied that the safeguards are adequate, normal cross-border movement will be resumed. Already, we are making key infrastructure investment to enhance our ease of doing business. On transportation, we are making significant progress on key routes such as the Second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and the Abuja-Kano Highway. 2020 will also see tangible progress on the Lagos to Kano rail line. Through Executive Order 007, we are also using alternative funding programs in collaboration with private sector partners to fix strategic roads such as the Apapa-Owora-Shoki Expressway. Abuja and Port Harcourt have new international airport terminals, as will Kano and Lagos in 2020. When completed, all these projects will positively impact business operations in the country. These projects are not small and do not come without some temporary disruption. We are doing now what should have been done a long time ago. I thank you for your patience and look forward to the dividends that we and future generations will long enjoy. Power has been a problem for a generation. We know we need to pick up the pace of progress. We have solutions to help separate part of the value chain to work better together. In the past few months, we have engaged extensively with stakeholders to develop a series of comprehensive. During my Democracy Day speech on June 12, 2019, I promised to lay the enduring foundations for taking 100 million Nigerians out of mass poverty over the next 10 years. Today I restate that commitment. We shall continue reforms in education, healthcare, and water sanitation. I have met international parties such as Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who support our social welfare programs. I will continue to work with state and local government to make sure that these partnerships deliver as they should. Workers will have a living wage and pensioners will be looked after. We are steadily clearing pensions and benefit areas neglected for so long. The new Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development will consolidate and build on the social intervention scheme and will enhance the checks and balances necessary for this set of programs to succeed for the long term. I am able to report that the journey has already begun with the passage and signing into law of the 2020 Appropriation Act. As the new decade dawns, we are ready to hit the ground running. Let me pay tribute to the 9th National Assembly, who worked uncommonly long hours to make sure that the 2020 budget scrutiny is both thorough and timely. The close harmony between the executive and legislature is a sharp contrast to what we have experienced in the recent past, when the Senate kept the previous budget for 7 months without good reason, just to score cheap political points, thereby disrupting the budgetary processes and overall economic development plans. Our policies are working, and the result will continue to show themselves more clearly by the day. Nigeria is the most tremendous can-do market, offering extraordinary opportunities and returns. Investors can look forward with confidence not only to an increasing momentum of change, but also to specific incentives, including our new visa on arrival policy. They can also be certain of our unshakable commitment to tackle corruption as we create an environment to allow initiative, enterprise, and hard work to thrive. It is more important than ever to call out those who find the rule of law an inconvenience or independent regulation and irritation. We are doing our part here in Nigeria. We will continue to praise our partners abroad to help with the supply side of corruption and have received some encouragement. We expect more funds stolen in the past to be returned to us, and they will be plugged back into development with all due transparency. This is a joint initiative. Where our policies have worked best, it has been because of the support of ordinary Nigerians in their millions, numbers that even the most powerful of special interests cannot defy. I thank you for your support. Transition by its very nature carries with its change and some uncertainty along the way. I encourage you to be tolerant, law-abiding, and peace-loving. This is a new year and the beginning of a new decade, the Nigerian decade of prosperity, and I promise for Nigeria and for Africa. 47 road projects scheduled for completion in 2020, including roads leading to port, major bridge including substantial work on the second Niger Bridge, completion of 13 housing estates under the National Housing Project Plan, Lagos, Kano, Badagry, and Enugu International Airport to be commissioned in 2020, launching of an agricultural rural mechanization scheme that will cover 700 local governments over a period of 3 years, launching of the livestock development project grazing model in Gombe State, where 200,000 hectares of land has been identified, training of 50,000 workers to complement the country's 7,000 extension workers, commissioning of the Lagos, Ibadan, and Itakpe rail lines in the first quarter, commencement of the Ibadan, Abuja, and Kaduna rail lines also in the first quarter, further liberalization of the power sector to allow businesses to generate and sell power, commencement of the construction of the Mambila Power Project by the first half of 2020, and commencement of the construction of the AKK gas pipeline, OB3 gas pipeline, and the expansion of the Escravos Lagos pipeline in the first quarter of 2020.